here. I came back with the king tide. I just watched Aquaman twice 2 days ago in China, and I freaking love it. James Wan did a marvelous job of this film, so the cast and crew. So I'd love to give my spoiler-free review in this video today. In my opinion, Aquaman was a film that held the high standards the DCEU would cherish most, which was how to portray those legendary characters of DC Comics on big screen, to be heroes or clowns. Which we knew the last film of this franchise did a very bad example of that. It had been made us worried sick of Warner Brothers Studio would not learn anything from Justice League. But luckily, Aquaman was not the case. I think Aquaman was like a Lord of the Rings but under the sea. But emotionally, it's more like Wonder Woman to me. This film connected with the other films of this franchise was very much like Wonder Woman did. It connected them in a very superior form, and I'm sure it followed the big blueprint of DCEU that founded by Zack Snyder. You can see many see-me homage scenes, actions in Aquaman that reminds you of Man of Steel and even Batman v Superman. For example, we can witness a similar identity crisis of Arthur. The bridge united two worlds, theme of environmental protection through the whole film, and the same type of the flashback we have seen in Man of Steel. To my surprise, there was even a very signature news montage that we have been seeing in BVS. If I'm not wrong, Arthur even did the exact same thing to save a man like Bruce did in Batman v Superman. This is this theme of how parents affected to children survive in this franchise and this franchise alone of comic book movie genre today. So, besides the tributes and the connections, the other unique part of Aquaman was to watch. First, the scale of the backstory of the film was very ambitious. I almost mistaken I was watching a freaking Lord of the Rings film, but only under the sea. There was a scene very James Wan, but reminds me a lot of the Mine of Moria from Fellowship of the Ring. Second, the visual. Gosh, I praise Wan brought us this magnificent deep sea world. The seven kingdoms and the cultures of them was solid, amazing. And even some of them just appeared very briefly in the film, but it was very convincing and wowed me several times. Third, Mera. Mera was the rightful equal to Arthur in this film, but not overly imply her feminist power side. She was tough, brave, smart, powerful. Long live the Queen! First, Justice League jokes stink free. I knew there were lots of people worried about jokes. I was one of them, to be honest. But the Justice League jokes were offensive and mostly battles. This type of jokes kill almost all the great and powerful moments of the film and try to be funny but also kill the core spirit and the heroic theme of a film altogether. Aquaman has one or two silly or unnecessary jokes, yes, but nothing like battles. Some of the jokes in this film even related to Atlanteans' civilization and culture, which were amazingly fun. Anyway, the heroic scene in this film was intact. Fifth, The music. Aquaman got an electric guitar scene music in this film, which was fit this character perfectly. And I don't know how to describe score in words, but I got very emotional, even bursting into tears several times during watch the film. And the music did a lot of work with that. Seventh, the deep connection with the Snyder Cut Justice League. Yes, I'm sure Aquaman was connected with the Snyder version of Justice League more than the Justice League. It had been worried a lot of DCU fans that Justice League erased the mythological origin of Aquaman. But turn out it's just a false arm. Oh, the arm was real, but it had been fixed after the last personal change of Warner Bros. Studio. In Aquaman film, Steppenwolf and his war with Justice League only mentioned once. But when you realize how Queen Athena defined the very existence of Arthur and tell that repeatedly through the whole story, which was like a mirror image with a plot that Snyder Cut Justice League we heard about months ago. And when you realize the answer of how to be a bridge to the two worlds, that was a question asked since this franchise started from Man of Steel. And this answer should be given by Justice League first, not Aquaman. The conclusion. Aquaman made me believe Zack Snyder stole the heart and soul of this franchise, and his Justice League film will finally out. As I knew, the real Justice League film by Zack Snyder was 3.5 hours long, and it exists September of 2016. Ask Warner Bros. Studio for it. Ask them with respect and supportive. Ask them to do the right thing. Ask them to release the Snyder Cut. That's all. So I will see you the next time. Bye.